Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the QDecent podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at QDecent podcast, Instagram at QDespod, TikTok at QDs. I also have a Facebook page, Facebook/QDecent podcast. I don't know if that's how it's done anymore, but here we are. Here we are doing another episode, guys. Today's episode is brought to you actually by this really cool company called Practice Mode. Life edition, man. You know when you start in a video game and you get to do a practice run? Say you're playing a new video game for the first time, Fortnite or some shit, and you get to go to the practice area, practice your targets, hit a couple target practices, and maybe you practice driving a car, and then you get to go to the game and use your skills. Get comfortable with the controls. Now, do you ever wish you could do that with your life? Well, now you can. Having trouble learning to drive that new car? Trying to learn how to ride a skateboard? Maybe you keep falling down in front of your girlfriend or your friends at the skate park. You're getting embarrassed. Maybe you wanna commit a murder and you don't know if you have the balls to do it. Well, now you can find out. Go to practicemodelife.com and enter code QDECE for a 14-day free trial of this virtual reality practice mode. Get practice in your life. This is not a real product, but wouldn't it be cool if it was? I wish we could have a practice mode, man. Could practice maybe kissing girls or something. Maybe you could practice doing your own hair, cutting your own hair. But it's not real. You need to revert back. Or maybe you could practice, what's another good one? Maybe you could practice your basketball. Okay. I recently flew on a plane, you guys. I took Alaska Airlines to Portland with a connecting flight in Seattle. And, they said that we could take our masks off. Alaska Airlines requires passengers to wear a face covering over the nose and mouth while in the airport, while boarding the aircraft, and while the duration of the flight. Throughout the duration of the flight. But here's the caveat. They said if you are eating or drinking something, you can take your mask off because, it's not possible to eat or drink with a mask on unless you cut a hole in it. But dude, what if I can take my mask off while drinking or eating? Why would I ever not be drinking or eating? You guys got a fucking Starbucks in the airport. Why would I not get a coffee and just always be drinking it? Hey, excuse me, sir. We require face coverings in the airport at all times. Oh, well, I'm drinking Bucks, bro. It's cool. I'm drinking Bucks. Sir, could you please put your mask? I'm eating McDonald's fries that I just bought from you guys. What do you expect me to do? These fries are too salty. Dude, if I can take my mask off, if there's a way to take the mask off, I'm gonna do it because I'm a person and we hate masks. So think of something different, man. I don't know why I said recently. In the airport, I saw a dude eating. It was a big guy. Big, muscly, manly man with a beard. He looked like he'd maybe been in a fight club or something. And he was eating a pink frosted donut with sprinkles. A brightly pink, sprinkled frosted donut. Like no one was watching. Which I think is kind of cool. I want to get to that point. But no, dude, I don't feel like... When I saw that, I was like, I had to take a double take. And I think I thought to myself, man, you haven't lived until you've seen a guy like that eat a donut like that, like no one's watching. I would never go against a public stereotype like that. Just kidding! The QDecent podcast, you guys, has some shit to say to the airport. Dude, they had signage about social distancing, right? And, you gotta stay 6 feet apart. That's the rule, 6 feet apart. And the first sign I saw, it was one of those stand-up signs, middle of the hallway. It's its own entity, and on it, it was like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper size sign that just said, don't flock together, practice social distancing, stay 6 feet apart. And it has a little arrow. So on the thin side, it's 8.5 by 11 facing up the normal way. Portrait, I believe it's called, not landscape. And on the portrait side, from one 8.5 side to the other, it had a picture of an eagle with its wings spread out and an arrow, a red arrow facing both edges of the wings, and like a break in the middle to say 6 feet, because an eagle's wingspan is 6 feet. Now the airport was using this as an example to show the guests that you gotta stay 6 feet apart, comma, like an eagle's wingspan. Now let me ask you something. Did you ever see a fucking eagle with its wings spread right up next to you? No. Let me answer the question for you. No. Let me answer it for you again. No. The reason that we even say, oh, hey guys, an eagle's wingspan is 6 feet wide. That's the height of a human being, an adult man. That's because we don't ever get to see that up close. And that should be obvious. And then a little bit down the way in the airport, I saw the exact same sign, except instead of an eagle's wingspan, it said the length of 2 of this special kind of salmon. I guess it's a 3-foot salmon. And dude, those things live underwater. We don't see them up close either. What are you doing? Why don't you just say 6 feet? We know what that means. Most people are 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall, or taller. Wish I wasn't. But dude, we are, and we know what 6 feet means. You don't need to compare it to something that we literally could not use to compare in our tiny little fucking brains, man. And so what the fuck? But you know what I do like about the airport, and I like this at every airport, is that I like to go to the board, the departures monitor, and the arrivals monitor, so you can see where all the flights are going. I think that's pretty fun to read them all. See, these guys are going to maybe Raleigh, North Carolina, or maybe these guys are headed over to Amarillo. Maybe somebody's going to Anchorage or Juneau. I flew Alaska. Sometimes you see shit you never heard of, towns you've never heard of, like Walla Walla or Rhinelander. What the fuck is that? Like the land of rinds, like watermelon rinds. I'm gonna head out to the Rhinelander, eat some watermelons, leave the rinds on the ground, and then fucking go to Walla Walla after that. Fuck. Alaska Airlines got my back. No, I really did like the Alaska flight. This is not an ad, but shout out to Alaska Airlines. And I also saw Future at the airport. Not Future for real, but there was a dude who looked a lot like Future, had a similar hairdo. He had sort of a white tracksuit on. He was on the phone. He was with his girl, who was like a super hot blonde model looking tall white girl. And I heard him on the phone. He said it's all good to someone, and I was like, oh shit, it's Future. He says it's all good. And then I thought, oh, I'm gonna say that I saw fucking Future at the airport, but then I thought to myself, oh, that wasn't Future, so is it racist to say that a black guy looks like Future if he actually does? Is it racist to say that Travis Scott fucking now looks like A$AP Rocky because of his hairdo? Because he does? I mean, his face doesn't, but I saw him in a music video and I was like, oh, that's A$AP Rocky. And my friends were like, no, that's Travis Scott. And I said, oh, he did the exact same hairdo as A$AP Rocky. Cool. I looked it up, man. I'm not the first person to say this, so dude, if a black guy actually does look like another black guy, can I point it out, or does that make me a racist? I don't know. Up to you to decide. But, I mean, it's his hairdo. Travis Scott took A$AP Rocky's hairdo, man. It was his, he made himself look like A$AP Rocky of his own hair doing. That was a bad pun. But dude, yeah, we can get off that subject. I hung out with a pretty interesting group of folks the other day right before I got on my flight, and it was really fun. We were at my boy Jeffrey's house. Shout out to Jeffrey. I know he's a fan of the show, so shouts out. We were doing a little guitar playing and hanging out with Jeffrey. It was me and this couple of ladies who I've actually talked about before on the podcast, and I used the names Felicia and Emily. So I'm going to use those again. We were hanging out and talking about music, talking about the 60s and the 70s. Because Jeffrey, my boy Jeffrey, he's 69 years old, and so he's got a lot of neat stories for back in the 60s, 70s. We talked about the Beatles a little bit. And I remember at one point Emily said that Jeffrey sort of had a young... Jeffrey said, "Oh, I'm old." And Emily said, no, you have a young spirit. You have a young energy to you. You're still young on the inside. And, dude, we looked in his freezer and he had 2 packs of bologna. Not 1, but 2 frozen packs of bologna. He had some shrimp, some brine shrimp, and 4 Stouffer's meatloafs. And I was like, this is not a young person's freezer. Anyway, I mentioned to Emily while I was there that somebody that we both knew had an OnlyFans now. I said, "Oh, Emily, you hear? XY has an OnlyFans now." And she said, What's that? What's OnlyFans? What's OnlyFans? Okay. Here's what I have deduced to have happened here. Either Emily is fully excluding herself from any social media or any publicness anywhere, and she actually hasn't heard of OnlyFans. Find that one pretty unlikely. Might be true. The other possible option is that she's got one herself, and that she's just trying to hide that from everybody else in the room. Because if she did have an OnlyFans and didn't want anybody to know about it, that's exactly what she would say, right? If you had an OnlyFans and somebody brought up OnlyFans, you wanted to make sure that nobody in the room found out about your OnlyFans, you would definitely say, if you're smart, you would say, what's OnlyFans? What is that? I've never heard of that. That's exactly what somebody would say. So, she probably doesn't have an OnlyFans, but dude, if I find out she does, I'll tell you guys about it. But dude, you can't be any part of the world right now and not know what OnlyFans is. It's like every other girl's fucking livelihood now. Quarantine. #quarantine. I also saw a post from a friend that just said, "Dear girls, selling your nudes online is not a job." Maybe it is now. I think it is now. It's not a job that most men would like to do, but some men are doing it. Shout out to male strippers, Aaron Romano episode. Anyway, guys, what else do I have for you today? You know, in a big movie kiss scene, how someone or something always ruins it? Isn't that funny? Fucking every time that there's a big kiss scene and I see it about to go down, I always know for sure that either right before it happens something's gonna happen and they'll have to stop and they won't get to kiss, or right while they're kissing or right after they're kissing something will happen to diffuse that feeling, or maybe someone saw them kissing, or it pans over, their lips are together, and it pans over to a blurry person in the background and then focuses on them, and oh shit, somebody saw us kissing. Dude, somebody always ruins the big epic kiss moment, and I know it's coming, and I love it, dude. I fucking love it. Maybe, like, because I just love knowing what's coming. I love to see the kiss, and then I'm like, oh, somebody messed it up. Somebody screwed up. Yes, it happened. Somebody saw it. Um, because that's not how it is in real life. I think I like it because that's not realistic, man. If you're in real life and you kiss somebody, that's never gonna happen, man. You're just gonna kiss, and then it's gonna be whatever it is afterwards. You're gonna look at each other, and you're gonna have to decide whether or not you want to kiss again. Which is why it's fun to see it go down in movies, man. You can dream about your romantic life in ways that it will never play out, and that's the American pastime. This country is really something, man. The way that our brains are programmed to view the world because of movies and TV is something. We're breeding some crazy people right now, and I don't want to make a comment on it, but I'm excited to see where this world's going. I'm so glad to be young, man. I'm so glad to have my life ahead of me and to see how all this shit's gonna play out. If you're young and you're not excited, you're doing something wrong. And I get it because I used to not be excited. Maybe I'm more excited now because I have seen what it might be like to not have a life anymore. Maybe that's it. Maybe some people are never gonna appreciate their life. That's probably true. But if you're listening to this right now, I hope you appreciate your life. You probably do too, because if you're one of those people who doesn't appreciate their life enough, you're not going to be able to appreciate the QDecent podcast. And I don't fucking want you to watch it, dude. People who are just so obsessed with their eating, their drugs, their booze, their bad habits, dude. They're so entrenched in just a broken cycle of unhappiness. And I used to feel bad, but now I don't. Especially when someone's like really big, someone's really fat and just sloppily overweight and can't walk very well, coughing because he smoked cigarettes. Dude, you fucked up, and I don't feel bad. You know why? Because I did all of that stuff and I realized it was bad, and then I had to make an effort to stop. And if you can't figure out at least that it's bad and you need help, then you're just lazy. And you put yourself there. Oh, there's the dog. You fucking put yourself there, and I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for some people, though, so hit me up. Ask me if I feel bad for you. Hit me up on Twitter with your plight and ask me if I feel bad for you. Tweet me at QDecentPodcast. And, dude, here's what I'm going to close out on today. I have just a little idea that I want to close out on. And here's how I'm going to put it. My name is Emmett, and I don't know the truth about anything that anybody just told me. I don't know what your name is, but you also don't know for sure the truth about anything that anyone just told you. I'm going to tell you why. Actually, I shouldn't have to tell you why. Okay. We all know that Bill Cosby drugged a bunch of women and sexually assaulted them. Sexual misconduct. For sure, he did that. But when you first heard about it, did you know for sure? No. I mean, you heard the rumor. And then later you found out it was true. If you didn't quite believe it until you found out for sure, so you didn't change your opinion about himself or his comedy until you were like, you're actually 100% sure, you're actually seeing multiple pieces of evidence or something like that something crazy is happening, then you can believe it. If you did that, like, hats off, because what most people would do is hear a crazy rumor. Oh, fucking Chris Farley is still alive. Oh, shit. Oh, really? Chris Farley's alive? I'm gonna go tell some people that. And dude, I am not about to do that because obviously Chris Farley's not alive, man. And I've heard a lot of crazy stuff about a lot of famous people, and I've heard a lot of crazy stuff about a lot of not famous people too. But when you just hear a crazy fact, you can't just believe it. Or you're dumb. If you just believe it, then you're part of a huge problem in this country of spreading misinformation. Because people want everything to be easy and simple. And if you make it that way for them, you're ignoring the truth. Or the way of the world. The two sides to every story policy, dude. If you hear something crazy, chances are it's either exaggerated, not true, or maybe it's true. But dude, don't believe it and like start changing your opinions the second you hear it, bro. I've heard so much crazy shit about so many people that as soon as I hear something crazy about somebody, I don't even have a reaction anymore. I'm just like, oh, okay. Not sure if that's true. Oh, fucking, Ariana Grande? I heard that she is like really into elderly Chinese men. Not sure if that's true. Not gonna go find out because I don't give a fuck. But if I did give a fuck about it, I would go find out and then believe it. If say you heard that the Pope is a fucking really into putting fudgesicles up his butthole and then shitting them out into his fucking boyfriend's mouth and pretending it's his poop. If somebody told me that, I would definitely laugh my ass off, and then I would say that's probably not true. And I would like do a little fact checking. Where'd this come from, man? Where'd you get this info? People don't do enough fact checking in this world, and if you hear a crazy thing from your buddy, fact check it before you believe it. And that's just a little piece of advice I got. Also, why would I give a fuck if anybody's a part of a major scandal anyway, dude? I'm just trying to do me. I don't give a fuck, man. Oh, Kobe Bryant raped somebody. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I'm not going to base any opinions on that because I don't know. And that's how I think everybody should do it. Do I have anything else? No, dude. I'm not, yeah. If I hear a crazy rumor, man, I'm not going to go spreading it. I'm going to keep my lips sealed. Just like my juvenile court record. Thanks for watching the QDecent podcast today. I love you all. And fucking have a good one.